Hi, good day everyone. Do you know that our Earth, all the living organism on Earth, how can we survive? Because we need a certain energy coming from the universe. In the solar system, all the planets require one particular thing. That is the sun. Without the sun giving the energy, none of the planets can survive. So you can see that we need energy. Our whole solar system need energy from the sun. Just exactly the same like our house. You have a lot of electrical appliances. No matter what brand that you use, how sophisticated, how high-tech it's going to be, including your smartphone. But without electricity, nothing works. So all these electrical appliances requires electricity, a kind of energy. But do you know that our body is also the same? So when we are born, the first thing we need to do or we are taught to do is consume your food. Then have to drink milk, because from the milk itself will give us energy. We know that the food that we consume daily will provide our body with energy. So you can see that our body lives on energy. And in order for our body to be healthy, we have to understand one very crucial thing. Our body is made from cell. From the sperm from the dad with the ovum, the egg from the mother. When fertilized, you have the first cell. From one cell will grow into the whole body. So all these cells require the same thing, requires energy. So cell will grow into tissue, tissue will grow into organ, organ will grow to system, and system will become the whole body. Our body have 12 major systems in the body. Various type of organs. We have the heart for pumping blood, we have the stomach for digestion, we have a kidney to produce urine. You can see that each and every organ requires energy. And our cells in the body, the most fundamental one, definitely requires energy. But a lot of people will say that I'm taking a lot of food, so I should be having enough energy. Yes, but the point is, are you using it to maintain your health, to keep your health at its optimum level? That's very important. Why? Because a lot of people are now generating a lot of excessive cell without function. Okay, the word without function, it means that literally it doesn't function the way we intended it to be. So what is the cell that nowadays we are having a lot that is not functioning the way we want it? Okay, you supply all the energy but it's not functioning. What is the cell that we are talking about? Roughly you will know the answer is fat cell. As we all know that now a lot of people having obesity issue and then cardiovascular issue like stroke, heart attack is due to a lot of fat cells in the body that is not fully utilized. So we blame the fat. Fat is the culprit for everything. But why we generate a lot of this fat cell and it's not contributing to our health? Because the fat cell cannot function properly. Why do I say so properly? Because you can see that fat cells, basically there are two types. We have the brown type and the white type. The white type is the one that we are not so happy with. But the brown one is very good for health. Do you know that when babies are born, they have a lot of fat cells too? And their fat cells are this, we call it brown fat cell. So what's the difference between the brown and the white? The brown one, you can see that in the photo, contains a lot of this mitochondria, and that makes this the entire color brown color. What's the function of this mitochondria? The main function of it is to convert all the energy that we eat from our food into energy in the cell. So we eat our food, a lot of calories, right? So for these calories to be utilized by the cell needs to convert it. And the converter is this, we call mitochondria. So the more mitochondria in the fat cell, the more heat or energy generation will be there. So that's the reason why you see baby have a lot of fat cell, really chubby, right? But in the end, when they grow up, you don't see the fat will be gone. Why? Because the mitochondria in the brown fat cell will convert the fat into energy and help in the development of the baby or the toddler itself. So you can see that having a lot of cells doesn't mean that it's functioning well. So you can see functioning of the cells depends on energy level. And besides that, in order for our cells to be healthy, we need ourselves to do quite a lot of things too. But do you know which cell contains the most compact mitochondria? That means that all these mitochondria jam-packed at one particular space in the cell. Do you think which cell contains the most jam-packed one? The answer is our nerve cells, especially our retina for our eyesight. Because nerve cells and our brain really makes us different compared to animals, because we have intelligence, and this nerve cell consume a lot of energies. That's why when we think too much, you feel very tired, because thinking requires a lot of energy, because all these nerve cells are jam-packed with mitochondria to convert energy. That's why you see that Mitochondria is very important to give the cell energy. So by just consuming calorie from the diet doesn't mean that your cell will have the energy. Your cell must convert it. That is the crucial point. So at the same time, beside the functionality of the cell requires energy, every part of repair and regenerate of new cells also require abundance of energy. And lastly, for cell protection against we call it toxins, for example, like ultraviolet radiation, free radicals, and then germs, virus attack, cells need to be strong enough to self-protect, also requires a lot of energy. That's the reason why lacking of energy, our cells will not be healthy and we will not be healthy. And this research on cell energy has been so long, has been so many years in the science field. As you can see, in the year 1978, Peter D. Mitchell has been awarded Nobel Prize in Chemistry for his discovery in cell energy. He illustrates how our cell utilize the food into energy, like what I described earlier on. You can see that he himself won a Nobel Prize for that part. And later in the year 1997, another two more scientists received another Nobel Prize in Chemistry for the same discovery, but a lot more intrinsic about the entire cell energy. Because we know that from the food, the energy we calculate as calories, but in cell, the calories is too big. The unit is too big. So what is the cell requires? The cell energy is called ATP. Adenosine triphosphate. So you can see that we actually in science about cell energy has been ongoing for so many years already. That's why scientists really know how our cells work with energy. And that's the reason why the development of cell activation theory is also based on the earlier two findings. So what is this cell activation theory all about? Cell activation theory is more on how can we activate our cells for the cell to live up its full potential. We know that by just taking our food doesn't mean that our cell will have all the energy, and might not be our cell will be utilizing all the energy. So how can we ensure that by knowing this cell activation theory? Okay, the whole concept is not that complicated, it's actually very simple. It's always about demand and supply. So if you want your cell to do more work, okay, don't so lazy. So what you do, you plan work for it to do. Simple as that. So after a meal, you just sleep there whole day. What you're going to do with your meal, you're going to store it, you'll generate a lot of fat cells. But when you eat your meal, then you do a lot of workout. Then your body will feel refreshed, energetic. At the same time, you reap the benefits of the whole health thing. And no fat cell will be stored because all the nutrients, all the calories that you consume has been converted into cell energy, ATP. So this is the cell activation theory all about. Different cell type, how can we activate it for it to utilize energy efficiently? Okay, so with this cell activation theory, we come up with a series of products we call the Holly in Chi series of product. Why we choose the brand name Holly in Chi for this whole entire series? Because Holy means complete. Okay, in Chi is the plant we use, the vegetables that the fruit that we use, Sacha inchi fruit that we are using. So we are using the complete Sacha inchi in the formulation. Every single part of this Sacha inchi, we get to know it and how can it helps in activating our cells. So that's the whole concept about this Holly inchi. It's based on the cell activation theory we mentioned earlier on, how different nutrients activate our body cells. Okay, so besides supplying our cell with the right nutrients, a lot of people will do that, right? Like I mentioned earlier on, we just eat. But that's not sufficient. A lot of the nutrients supplements in the market is doing exactly that. Just provide yourself with the nutrients. But by just providing but not activating the cell, you won't see much result. And our Holly in Chi series are based on CAT, cell activation theory. And what we do, quite a lot of research done, and our most crucial part that we did is we analyze and we understand. In order for the cell to be activated, there's one major component that we have to tackle. What is that? It's the cell membrane. Every single cell, they will have an outer skin, we call the cell membrane. And this cell membrane is the only way to communicate with the cell. So if you want to let the cell activate, give it command for it to activate, to move, to do works, you need to go through this cell membrane. And for your information, for example, nerve cells, or the most active cells in the body, one of the most active cells, the membrane has a certain charge to it, and it's negative 70. So if this charge, electricity of the cells is not in balance, no matter what nutrients you supply to a cell, it cannot go through inside the cell and the cell cannot utilize it. So it is very crucial that we maintain the healthy state of energy level. We call it negative charge on the surface of the membrane cell. And our Holy Inchi series product is doing exactly that. So with that being done, the cell's membrane is activated, then whatever you supply the cell can enter the cell and the cell can utilize it for energy, for production of new cells, and for self-protect. And that's the reason why with Holy Inchi, we can expect 3 major results. Because the Holy Inchi series, we have this 3R factor. What do you mean by 3R factor? Is the first one, re-energize. Nutrients, the energy that we provide to the cell can directly go into the cell and the cell can utilize it. We call re-energize. And the second R is revitalize. So with that energy, cells can regenerate new cells, self-repair. And the third thing is reinforce it by strengthening the cell, have the ability to self-protect. So that's the whole concept of CAT, the cell activation theory in our product, Holy Inchi, whereby it contains this 3R factor. So it's very important, cells need to be healthy, cells need to function, and at the same time requires energy. So this energy is not only by supplying, you need to allow this energy directly go into the cell through the cell membrane. So how you activate the cell membrane to receive these nutrients to yield the result that you want, that is a crucial part that's been done by our Holy Inchi series. Okay, thank you very much.